women tend to support homosexuality because we feel, would you say we feel bad? I don't want to mischaracterize.
Yeah, you guys associate. I mean, you guys have a more empathy for them because that feminine energy, you guys are not, it doesn't offend you.
So you're saying I'm a little.
No, I didn't say that. He said it, not me. This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com. Get your merch link in the description section. Get you one of these shirts. What would Trump do? We have a what would Reagan do? And we also have a shirt that says my pronouns are USA. Go on right now and get you one of those shirts. Links are in the description section. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notification. Anytime I go live, make a video, make sure you still subscribe to this channel. Like this video, comment for this video. Let's get into this. One more point I want to make is, when you were speaking about the sexualization of homosexuality and all that stuff, that's what you see is bred in the pride movement. When you go to a pride, you don't see regular people just sitting around there like, oh, we love each other. Like, even if you had like a heterosexual
love, they almost equate love to
it's
sex.
Lust, it's sex. Lust. The only reason that a man wants to be with another man is because of sexual lust. It's not just love. You can love a person that you're not overly attracted to. But if it's about sex, it's about lust, if it's about a man being attracted to another man's genitalia, that's a different thing. And I feel like they don't want to admit to that. It's all about sex, and they get sexually perverse through being molested, through being raped or whatever the case may be, or exposed to pornography at an early age, exposed to sex at an early age, and they begin to have this psychological confusion, and they go down the wrong path. I don't believe people are born that way. I believe people are born with probably the propensity, meaning that some men are born a little more feminine than other men. But I don't think a person is born, they're nurtured into it.
So it's interesting that you say that, because if you had said that to me right when I got started in my career, however long it was, I would have said that is wild. And like I said, I was much more moderate. And I think what really changed for me was a discussion that I had with someone who's on my creative team. He's a gay man. He's also not but he's a Christian, and the reason why he says he's a Christian is because he does not, like, he says I am gay, but he does not, it's the sin is sodomy. He does not engage in that, Instead he goes to church. He believes that it's very interesting to talk to him because he's absolutely brilliant. And one of the things that he said to me is that, growing up, I can tell you that of all of the gay people that I know that I used to party with, because he used to be actually engaging in sodomy, that maybe only 6% of them are actually gay. He's like, are actually gay and were born gay. He said for the rest of them, it's become a social contagion. It is also something that they are doing like me. He said, I have daddy issues. My dad walked out on me when I was however many years old. And he said, and for me, I wanted that relationship with a man because my dad wasn't here. To hear that come out of a gay man's mouth shocked me, because it's something that obviously when I was in school, it's like, no, they were all born this way, blah, blah, blah. And what he's saying is, no, there might be a very small subset of people that are born this way. And his argument is that he believes those people should give their lives to art and creative works and to God, and that they should not engage in sodomy. Again, that's his argument, not mine. But to hear him say that it's become a social contagion was really fascinating, because then when you take a look at what's happening with transgenderism, I do believe that there is a very, very, very small subset of the population that is dealing with real gender dysphoria. We obviously now know, looking at these statistics, that the rest is just a social contagion. Yeah. For the rest of the people, it's what they're learning. And in America, I had this person who used to work with me who was from Romania, who came over here and said, why are there so many gay people here? And it was a very weird thing to hear somebody say. I was very shocked by that. I'm like, what do you mean why there's so many? Why are there so many gay people here? I'm like, what does that mean? And the person said, in my country, there's not this many gay people. Well, because America began in the 90s kind of saying, in the same way that we're doing right now with transgenderism, that this is just an option. And so it went from small subset of people who were perhaps molested. And I think of all these examples of Ellen DeGeneres, Melissa Etheridge, people have talked about their molestation in their youth, who then lesbians say, okay, I don't want to be with a man anymore because I was molested. It's a defense, right? You're not born this way. Something happened to you and you now no longer want to be with a man. Not every person, but a lot of people are. And I do know a lot of gay men who were molested, who somehow and now they're into men. So, but we're not allowed to even have this discussion. I mean, this discussion that we're having, people don't want to be honest and talk about this stuff, which then bars gay men, like the gay men that I talked to, would never be able to say this publicly because it would be considered homophobic.
Right. They have an agenda. They have an agenda. They need the agenda to be pushed. Real gay people don't even have a say in this. The LGBTQ plus AARP, NAACP, whatever they want to add to it, that is not even a representation of probably most gay people.
Yeah.
That's the whole agenda that they're pushing to try to, I think they're doing this to get to kids. They're doing this to push pedophilia at some point. That's their end goal. But when you look at it, I wish that they would do research on this. Every gay person, let's go look at the household breakup, household makeup. Do you have a father in the home? Were you exposed to pornography at a young age? Were you molested and abused? Kind of what things had happened to you. I guarantee you, as sure as I'm sitting here, or what political affiliation your parents have. If you look at all of these things, I would argue that most people who are homosexual, most people who are have trans kids and all this, they either don't have a strong father in their lives. Their parents are either radical, zealot, religious people, which means that they're so over the top that they push their kids to insanity. Or you have a situation where they've been exposed to sexuality early. They've been exposed to pornography. They've been exposed to sexual deviancy. They've been raped. A guy that's been my friend for a very, very long time. He's a preacher, and he tells me how he struggles with homosexuality. Wow. But then you go back into his life. He say, well, he was abused, sexually abused by his older cousin. He used to live with him. The guy used to abuse him all the time. And so his first exposure to sexuality was with a man. Mm. And so now his thoughts of sexuality is with a man. Mm-hmm. And he struggles with that, right? But he's a pastor, so he can't live the lifestyle, but it's a struggle. And I don't know a person that was like, I was born this way. I hear people say, well, I knew I was gay from a very long time. But what does that mean? Your attraction or you somehow can't look at a woman in any way? I think it's on the spectrum, to be honest. I think it's a sliding spectrum. I think that, a lot of these men who are so feminine, they have a very hard time getting with women. Mm. And therefore it's easier for them to be with a man than a woman, to be honest. Same thing with tomboy women, like women who are very masculine. They play basketball and stuff like that. They're very masculine. And it's very hard for them to get an attraction from a man because men like feminine women more. There's men that like masculine women. But I think those women find themselves lingering more towards women because guys don't really show them a time of day. Then they live that lifestyle.
I want to go back to actually what you said about emotionality, because you said very quickly that women tend to support homosexuality because we feel bad? I don't want to mischaracterize.
Yeah, you guys associate. I mean, you guys have a more empathy for them because that feminine energy, you guys are not, it doesn't offend you.
So you're saying I'm a little.
No, I didn't say that. But, he said it, not me.
No, but there is something here, and it's something that I've been talking about as of recent, which is right now what we are facing is a crisis of hyperfeminization. And women, we have a superpower. We are empathetic, right? Mm-hmm. That is an amazing thing. You see how great having empathy and having sympathy, and when we're with our children, there's a reason why my 100%. Son wants me when he's sick, mm-hmm. why my daughter wants me when she's upset. There's a reason for that because they understand that women are nurturing. And it's funny because Lance Bass spoke on that. Like he rented a womb, and then his children didn't want him. He said that the babies would rather have been with his mother. Two gay men could not get their babies to connect with them. But like instantly, he said whenever his mother came over, the baby would cuddle her. That is because that is our superpower. The baby knows that. George didn't know what to do. The first year of having a baby, how significant was Corinne versus you? Now Bo's bigger, your son's bigger.
Yeah, maybe he liked me, but he loved his mama. Uh-huh. She loved him and cuddled him. Oh, he's crying. And I'm like, boy, get up off the ground. What you doing? Lay him in the bed. He all right. As long as he crying, he ain't dying. We good. My wife is just so compassionate. She's emotional. Like even women begin to lactate, even if they're not pregnant. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. If they have a small child with them, they can begin to lactate. Yeah. And so it's like women have been designed by God to have that level of empathy and that nurturing feeling. And to be honest, men love that about women. Mm. A man don't want another man. I mean, men don't want another man.
No, even gay guys. When you look at a gay relationship, there's one masculine one and one feminine one. They're even acknowledging natural order in their unnatural relationships.
Right. It's the same thing.
It's always a masculine dude with a.
But that's what happens.
They call it a lady boy. I don't know what to say. Like a feminine gay guy.
Yeah. What happens is, that one guy that's either been molested or he been around nothing but female energy his whole life. So he's a lot more feminine. Why does he go for a brawny man? Because he didn't have a daddy. Mm-hmm. He's looking for love from a man. That's why it's important for men to love their boys and hug them and love them and give them some love, because then they go out in the world, they don't feel like they need that validation from a man because they got it from their father.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big problem that we're not talking about.